Hi, and thank you for requesting the Imposter Syndrome Guide. Imposter Syndrome is one of those things that don't get talked about enough, so we don't realise how many other people have it. It's actually really, really common. So if you're feeling like a fraud and you feel like you're maybe not as skilled and as smart as the people around you, or you feel like you know less than them, and you're constantly worrying that you're going to get found out, that's imposter syndrome, and it's very possible that a lot of people you know also feel like that. And what it means in the real world is anxiety, stress, fear of going after opportunities, second guessing yourself. So, obviously, it causes a lot of problems and it's maybe stopping you doing things that you would otherwise do. The biggest problem with imposter syndrome is that you can't internalize proof of success. So, if you've had a big win, if you've got a contract for your business, if you've done a really fantastic piece of work, you'll put that down to external causes, something outside that made it happen, not to your own talent. And what that actually means is that nothing you do will stop you feeling like an imposter because you don't own the wins that you have. So in this guide, I wanted to put together some simple ways of dealing with it, some ways that you can push back against it. Obviously, the first thing is realizing that it's a problem for you. And as I say, it's common, it's a problem for a lot of people. So it's not something that you should feel bad about. The ways to deal with it, the first thing to do is to recognize what triggers it because that's different for different people. Um, but there are common ones that a lot of people share. So if you can understand what triggers imposter syndrome for you, that leaves you with two choices. You can either avoid the situations that cause it, and if you can't avoid those situations and still get what you want, then you can prep for them because forewarned is forearmed, right? If you know how you're going to feel in those situations, you can anticipate your own reaction and you can plan for what you're going to do about it. The second thing that you can do is to be honest with yourself about what you've achieved and how you've done that. So, as we've said in imposter syndrome, you'll say that's down to external causes naturally. That's probably not the truth in a lot of cases. You haven't got to where you are without any talent or any ability. You know, life doesn't come along and just give you things, you have to be able to do them. So, if you're focused on what's going to go wrong, you're not looking at what's gone right and all the times when you've had that win. Obviously, some of them may have been luck, some of them may have been someone giving you an opportunity, but you wouldn't be there without your skills. So, do you actually think about what your skills are? And if you don't, it's probably a good idea to start doing that, and then you can acknowledge your own strengths. And if you have weaknesses, then you can work on them. The third suggestion is that you take a more realistic view of what you might achieve in the future. So we all have the negative voice, right? I can't do this because. So I can't go for that contract because I'm only a small business. I can't do that task or impress that person because I don't have the right letters after my name. I'm not intelligent because when I was at school I did badly and people said that I wasn't intelligent. So to be where you are, as I say, you've done something right. And unless you're doing something completely new, you're going to have evidence of that. Even if you are doing something completely new, there are probably comparables with what you're doing now and what you did before. There are skills that you can transfer from task to task, right? So if you look back at what you've done in other roles, you can look at the skills that did well there and see how they might help you in what you're doing now. So number 4 is to look at your self-talk. Um, we talk a lot about self-talk these days. A lot of the time it's negative. But if you imagine if someone worked for you and you put them down all the time, what effect will that have on their performance? And you know that, and yet a lot of the time we criticize ourselves in a way that we'd never criticize someone else. What are you telling yourself about your own skills and your capability? Even if you're thinking about something that went wrong, you can still be kind to yourself about it, because stuff happens for a reason. We all make mistakes. Mistakes are there to learn from. So try talking to yourself more as you would to a colleague that you wanted to support than as your own worst critic. And the fifth one is to get people to support you. So some of us have supportive family and friends around us, some of us don't. You need to have people around you that are supportive, but it's not just supportive as in they care about you, they want you to do well. They have to understand what you're trying to achieve and think well of that and support you in that. So there may be people around you that love you and want the best for you, but they don't believe in you or your goals, what you want to do with your business, what you think you can achieve. They're also maybe not qualified or experienced to have that knowledgeable opinion on what you're trying to do. So if you don't have people around you that support your goals, that understand them, that want to help you to get them, you need to find those people, because we're social animals. Social support is a big deal. What I did want to say is I've worked with a lot of people with imposter syndrome, and I've seen the extent to which it holds people back. Don't feel bad about it. It is way more common than you realise. And some of the people that you're looking at, who you think are role models and you think are really confident in themselves, they probably feel the same way that you do. There is a really good chance that some of them do feel the way that you do. And I hope this guide will help you to deal with your imposter syndrome and to help you working forward and to being your best self. Take care.